and welcome back to Brick Gaming YGO. It's good to be back, it's good to do more videos, and this is going to be for my local Thunder Dragon deck profile where I went X-1 in a 22-person locals. 22 people all together who signed up for this locals, and I was able to only lose one round, and every other round I won. And then after the tournament I test played again multiple different people before and after, and I was able to in the end only lose one game with this deck. And this deck is amazing. If anyone tells you that Thunder Dragon is bad, this deck is so good and just wins you free games. And a lot of people have forgotten what this deck even does. So it gives you that added added bonus of surprise. Also, everyone at my locals is used to me playing Altergeist at this point. So bringing this in, it took a lot of people by surprise, and I was able to capitalize on that. Not saying that that's the only reason I won. I know how to play the game really well. I think like opening hands and stuff like that, I'm really good at playing them out. And before I get any further into this, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you're not subscribed, subscribing would mean a lot to me, to the channel, and I think to the community as a whole, because this helps out with my ability to make better content, more content, and eventually hit my 1,000 subscriber goal, which would mean a lot. So with no further ado, let's get into this deck profile. First off, I play triple Thunder Dragon Dark. If you guys want a little bit more better explanation, you can check out my other videos. It's going to be pretty similar, and I'll explain some of the changes in this deck, and I'll explain why I made some of the changes overall. But overall, this deck is still really good. Then I play triple Thunder Dragon Roar. Thunder Dragon Roar is just free recursion. It's good at 3, and you could potentially side one out during siding if you don't have room anywhere else. Then I play triple Thunder Dragon, just an old school generic one, and bring this deck back to GOAT format. Then I play double Thunder Dragon Matrix. Thunder Dragon Matrix is really good, obviously it searches itself, 500 boost, quick effect, everything about this card is good. Then one Dragon Hawk, this is just monster reborn, you can combo with it a little bit, but it's not as good as it used to be, and you only play one, that's as many as you need. If you play more than that, it becomes a really quick brick. Then I play one Thunder Dragon Duo, and this card just really everything you want to see in the deck. Attack boost, it banishes stuff from the grave, it gains 300 attack, it's a searcher, it gives you recursion. Everything else about this card is really just amazing. Then I play triple Aloof Lupine. This one's a banish from hand and then banish from deck, and it's really good for that reason. Plus it has a destruction effect where it's destroyed, you get recursion. And then double Batteryman Solar, this card also really amazing. It's a ditch. If you have like a chaos monster in your hand or anything like that, it gets you just free advantage from that ditch. And then when Thunder monster is special summoned, you get a free level 1 token, and that just allows you to do even more combos from there. Next, I play one Clap Serpent, one White Dragon Levianeer, or not Levianeer, one White Dragon Wyver Buster, my bad guys. Then one Chaos Valkyria, and those are for the little tiny ones, the ones that require one banish, and all of them are super good. I would consider playing Valkyria more than one copy, but I don't think I'm going to go that route. I think right now one of it is more than enough. Then I play one copy of Chaos Creator, and then one copy of Chaos Dragon Levianeer. Both of you guys are the bigger ones, Banish 2, and this one's a Banish 3. And Chaos Dragon Levianeer was one of the reasons I beat one of my opponents 2-0. It was a card that put in the most amount of work, pretty much for that matchup. And then Chaos Creator is just free recursion. Then for the hand traps, I play three Gammas and one Driver. This is really good. It prevents a monster activation. This is the one card that really shuts down your opponent and is good in every matchup. And then from the other hand trap, I play 2 copies of Infinite Impermanence, and that's the most you need. Infinite Impermanence is really good, and then these cards can be called by. It's really hard to stop these cards, and if you hit your opponent early on enough, this can just be game ending super early. Then I play 3 copies of Allure, free draw power, plus it gets one of your Thunder Dragons or one of your other monsters banished out of your hand. It's good in every single way for this deck. Then I play triple Chaos Space. Chaos Space is amazing. Just super good card. Searches for your cards you can't summon, and it can give you a draw by banishing from the graveyard and putting back one of your cards that can't be summoned. So really good. Then I play 2 Thunder Dragon Fusions. That's most. If you're playing less, you're never going to get to it. If you're playing more, then you're going to brick on it. Then I play 2 Cosmic Cyclones. I felt like this was a better option for Twin Twisters for my locals. I decided that I would rather have this card in my deck. And the reason being is that Twin Twisters is a discard, and sometimes you just don't have enough resources to really make that Twin Twister worthwhile. And Cosmic Cyclone is really good against Eldritch and a few other matchups where Cosmic Cyclone is just better in every single way. And then finally I play 1 copy of Gold Sarcophagus, which is just your basically banish 1 from the deck, and you get a whole bunch of effects off of that. It feels really nice every time you see it. Next, for my extra deck, Triple Titan. Once I get Curious, I'm going to cut this card down to 2, and then it's just going to be a 2 of after I get Curious. And then if I am able to put together Dragun into this deck with a Verte Anaconda, this is going to go down to 1 or maybe 2 copies at most. It's going to be much fewer than what it is at right now. Then play 1 Link Rebo, 1 Relinquish Anima, and 1 Link Ross for the Link ones. This is just generic, everyone should know what it does. Anima, steal a monster your opponent controls. If it's in a zone this card points to, super nice. Just manages to snowball on more of your opponent's misplays. And then finally, Link Ross, which is really good off of IP during your opponent's turn or during the end of their main phase. It just gets you free tokens and puts you in such a winning state that you should be able to easily just scoop up the game from there and just make your opponent submit during the next turn to pick up all the advantage you get. Next, I have 1 Cross Shape. This card came up fewer times than I thought it would be, but it was really good bait during at least 2 of my games. I was able to bait my opponent and then go into the card I actually wanted, which is IP. And I made this card every single game. This card is the MVP of the deck for non-Thunder Dragon cards. It just put in so much work every single game. I don't know what I would be doing without this card. It just completely changed like how good this deck is and put on a whole different level. Then 1 Summer Summoner. The guy's really actually bad. The most times I used him was against Dogmatika, sending this guy off for Maxima, because I didn't really want to send anything else. So I'm probably gonna cut him. He's pretty bad. So I would probably, if anything from this extra deck so far, 1 Thunder Dragon Titan, 1 Summer Summoner I would change. Then I play 1 Cerberus, 1 Phoenix, and 1 Unicorn. I made these cards at least 2 or 3 times each during the day, and they just put in so much work. It's just more options for disruption and getting rid of your opponent's stuff, and you can also discard your dead cards. Then for the Link 4s, I played 1 Appaloosa, 1 Unchained Abomination, and then 1 Access Code. And all of these cards are just amazing in this deck, and they all just put in so much work. Appaloosa was the only other card that I made as many times as I made IP or Titan. Titan, IP, and then Appaloosa were the cards I made the most. Unchained Abomination really didn't come up as much as I thought it would, but in testing it's really, really good, so I'm going to give it another couple of shots at locals and see if it ends up doing more in the future, but if not, it's a cuttable card. And finally, Access Code Talker, I never needed to make it. If I was able to OTK, I OTK just with Titan and stuff, and this card only really I had the option to make it like once where it would be really good, but I had enough Titan pops to the point where it didn't matter. So, yeah, that's the extra deck, 15 cards. And now moving on to the side deck, I played triple Spear Mode. This card's really amazing going second. I played against Dragun Invoked Turbo today, and his ending board was Mechaba, Verte Anaconda, and Dragun. And I looked at that, and I had a Spear Mode in hand, and I managed to Spear Mode him, and it was over. It was over. I mean, until a couple turns later, we made another Dragoon, and then I killed Dragoon with Titan by attacking over it. Yes, I killed 2 Dragoons in a single game. 2 Dragoons in a single game, playing Titan control, basically. So, yeah, it actually was, like, surprisingly really good against Dragoon Turbo. This deck actually puts in a lot of work against Dragoon Turbo. And then also, Dragun, I was considering playing Gamma Seal, and then I realized I didn't have Gamma Seals, and that was like, oh, I'll just play like a Raiden or one of the white ones, and I realized that the white ones are too big. I don't have like the Raiden guy, the dark one, so I decided to go with Dragun because it's still smaller, and yeah, it ended up being pretty good. Surprisingly, Dragun, the attack value ended up not really mattering so much, so I would probably in the future throw in the light guys as well, like the big kaijus, probably maybe a Jizakira, maybe like 1 or 2 of those. So yeah, the attack value ended up mattering way less, and this card just was super, super nice. Then I played double Dark Road No More. Did not come up a single time. Even against Dragun and other combo decks, I never needed it. I was able to break boards super easily with this deck to the point where I was like, oh, Dark Road No More is like the weakest card. And it's not really that weak in testing, it's amazing, so I'm going to give another couple of tries and see if it does anything more than in previous experiences. Then I played, this was my side deck for Backward Destruction, 2 Twin Twisters and another Cosmic. Had another Cosmic just in case, and then 2 Twin Twisters against more generic back row. Both of these cards came in on multiple occasions, so yeah, they were actually pretty good. Then 3 evenly matched. This card just ends games, especially if you brick and your opponent also like maybe didn't open as well or doesn't have a ton of negates. This card just comes in so clutch and it just deals with so much. Then one more Imperm for going second. I felt like 3 in the main deck was too much. I didn't want to run 41 cards and then have the 41st card being another infinite impermanence. So I side decked it, and it's really good going second. And then finally, 1 red Reboot, which I didn't go up against any stun decks outside of like, unless you count Sky Striker, Mystic Mine. That was pretty much the only stun deck I went up against today, and this red Reboot never came in because I never played against like real stun. So that's the deck profile. My matchups were, round 1, I played against Dinosaurs. I beat Dinosaurs 2-0, OTK'd them 2 times in a row, and won the hands with a brick hand with pretty much all hand traps in hand, and all of his stuff was unaffected, but I still managed to win. Even with his miscellaneous horse and pretty much having full combo, I was able to still win and beat him through that board. Then round 2, I played against, what did I play against round 2? I played against this really cool U-Link Cyber deck that ends on like a couple of negates with all their monsters not being able to be destroyed or targeted. It was like some type of Cyber deck, and I was able to beat that one 2-1. Game 1, he went first, made half the U-Link. I had too many interruptions. I negated like, I opened double Imperm, so I stopped him from going full U-Link. He still managed to end on like one negate and 2 interactions or something like that, but I managed to play through that board using Chaos Dragon Legionnaire. After I got rid of some of his stuff, it was super, super nice from there. Game 2, he just had too much and I lost. It was just way too much. He did the full combo thing, and I was just like, nope. And then game 3, I went first, and I was able to stop him from playing, and then OTK. Then my round 3 opponent was the Sky Striker player, Sky Striker Mystic Mine, and both of the games I bricked so hard. Like, this deck does have a little bit of problems with bricking, but you kind of need to play the cards that I'm showing because A, you kind of just need those cards to have interruptions, and B, it makes Sign Control way better. So I am losing because of not even Mystic Mine. He was just doing all my stuff with Widow Anchor, and this deck doesn't really have an easy way to like out that type of stuff. So it was kind of an unfortunate matchup. Then my round 4, I went up against. I played against Dragun Turbo with the Invoked stuff in it, and I managed to beat that 2-1. Game 1, I managed to stop him from even getting into Dragun. I just had too many responses. I ended up having like 5 interruptions during his turn altogether, and he just couldn't play through it. Then game 2, he made me go first. All my going second stuff was slided in, and I bricked on a whole bunch of going second stuff because I assumed that he was going to go first. And then game 3, I made him go first, and he opened the nuts. Like, as I mentioned, Mechaba plus Dragoon plus pretty much Verte, and then he also had on top of that some just random back row stuff. And I was really worried about the back row, but I saw Spear Mode, and I was no longer worried. I knew my Savior Spear Mode had shown up, so I was able to beat him from there. We had a grind game at that point because I couldn't normal summon, and I didn't really open as many Thunder Dragons as I wanted, so we had a bit of a grind game in which we made another Dragoon, but we made another Dragoon. I already had Titan, and he did not even attempt to pop Titan. He didn't even want to go there. He popped some other random stuff on my field, and he made that during main phase 2. He didn't even make Dragoon during main phase 1. He thought he had a negate for Verte, which at the time I could have popped it, but he just kind of baited everything out and then made Dragoon during main phase 2, so I ended up not dying, and I was able to OTK during like the turn, or not even OTK. I was able to just go for game during the next turn. So yeah, that was the deck profile. If you guys liked it, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you're not subscribed, it would mean a lot. Yeah, I'll be trying to upload 3 times a week. That is my goal. 3 times a week, and that's my goal. If I can't do more than that, well, I could probably do more than that, but I'm really busy with schoolwork, so yeah, it's kind of that awkward thing where I have to like really worry about time management and just getting stuff done. So yeah, definitely please like, comment, and subscribe, and once I have some more free time, I will be uploading way more, probably when this semester tones down a bit. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching once again, and I'll see you guys in the next video.